So I bought this old Dodge. Can't even see out the window. I can't tell you the rest of what's wrong with it. Well, if you remember the old V10 Dodge that we had before, that was a 97 Ram 2500. This thing kind of fell into my lap. The neighbor knew I'd gotten rid of my other truck, and he needed some firewood. So he told me to bring him 3 loads of firewood and I could have this truck. But of course it needs a bunch of work. He knew it was running rough and stuff, and there was some issues with the rear end. He had the pinion nut back off and it kind of locked up the rear end. So there might be something going on in there, but you know, the price was right. So yeah, so I went and brought him a little bit of firewood, and I kind of got to work on this thing. It smokes like a freight train, and I traced that down at the plenum gasket. They're famous for it. Under the intake manifold, it's leaking, and so it's sucking in the oil into the combustion chamber and burning it up. So I've got all that stuff coming. I tried taking it out for a little ride. That didn't pan out too well. It was smoking blue from the oil, and then it started smoking white under the hood. It was like a demolition derby car going down the road. And so I ended up taking it to the pressure washer because I wanted to clean all the crap off the engine, and then it wouldn't start in the car wash. So then the owners of the car wash, they had to push me out, and it was kind of funny. So anyways, I finally got it started, and this is where this video takes off, is me driving it home from the car wash and then kind of going through it. So if you want to follow along, this is what happened after. So I bought this old Dodge. Can't even see out the window. I can't tell you the rest of what's wrong with it, because I probably shouldn't be driving it. Now it's running on about 1 cylinder. Oh, listen to it. Yeah, that's all she's got. Dodge problems. She's a little dirty, this truck. Oh, it started. I think maybe the timing chain jumped a tooth or something. It's running really rough. And smoking. Off. Well, it's I had derby cars that ran way better than this thing. She needs work. Better shut her down before it overheats. You guys remember that movie Christine? What's wrong with this truck? The lights are flashing randomly. It's got some electrical issues. Typical Dodge. Bad body, bad electrical, bad front ends. The rest is pretty good. That's sap. I'll have to get that off. I thought it was the paint, but it's not the paint. Actually, the hood's like brand new in this thing. Other than that, but that'll come off, I hope. It'll come off. Well, she cleaned up nice. Well, a little bit. Some kind of a relay or something in here going on. I don't know. We're gonna take a look at it. This is the best time to find leaks, and everything else is at night with an LED light, because you can see everything. The neighbors must think I'm crazy. Actually, no. They know I'm crazy. Okay, well, we're gonna look for some leaks, because it was leaking a crazy amount of coolant today. And then I got some U-joints for the front. I got some Dana Spicer non-greasables. So it'll get, and a new axle seal, so it'll get all new U-joints in the front. Lots of cleaning to do yet. I ran out of money. I only had 20 bucks. This thing needs a couple good cleanings. So next time I go to the car wash, I'll get her again there. Okay, yeah, so we found the leak. It's that short little bypass hose that Dodge has used on their small blocks since the 60s. It's like 12 bucks at Napa. So that'll be a cheap, easy fix. And then the whole intake's got to come off eventually I got to do the plenum gasket. I'm hoping that's why it's burning oil. And I'll do this distributor cap and wires and rotor while I'm there. And this is why it wouldn't start today, I imagine. Look at this. That must be for, where does that go? Yeah, that's got to be something to do with the remote start thing to kill the engine. Like, why anybody would tie in right there, like with one of those quick snaps. Don't ever use those stupid things. They're garbage. You cut through half the wire when you make the connection. Plus, it's not sealed or anything. It's just solder them and be done with it. Shrink tube and solder. That's the only way to go. Okay, let's go underneath here. Let's have a look at the old Dodge. This is the best time to work on these stupid things on any vehicle. Look how much you can see now. So look at this, just caked in oil, this thing. Because nobody ever cleans these things, right? I do. I keep these spotless. So if I ever need to work on them, it's super easy. Looks like it. I'll have to see. It might need a transmission mount. All the parts are dirt cheap for these things and plentiful. It's got new U-joints, or newer. They're all tight, and they're actually non-greasable. I don't know if they're the Dana Spicers or not, but they're definitely non-greasables. The non-greasables are triple sealed versus double sealed. That's why they're better. I've tested them. Usually get about 15,000 kilometers, 20,000 kilometers more with them. That's gonna get changed. I'll have that here when I get the let's go up here. There's the oxygen sensor. When I get this thing fixed, like with the plenum gasket, and I've got all the carbon and crap out of the engine, I'll use seafoam or something like that. I'll change that oxygen sensor. Then I'll do it, because it's probably all caked up. And and you only want to use NTK brand for these Dodges. That's what they used from the factory, and they don't like other oxygen sensors often. So just use the NTK, which is a version of NGK, I believe. Then you can see where the pressure washer hit it today. Usually I pressure wash the whole thing at home, but my pressure washer's down, so I couldn't see what I was doing at the car wash today. It'll get another bath, several of them, until it's spotless like that. And I'll rebuild that front shaft. We'll see. I don't think it has any play in it now. We'll see. I might let it go a little bit, but I usually just do them, and then I know they're good. And I'll put the little ball socket in there. They had that in stock. Again, it'll get non-greasables, Dana Spicer, and then my whole drive line will be good. And we got axle seals for the front. Oh, and it needs a rear main seal. I don't know how much you can see, but you get the idea. Needs a rear main seal right here. Like, there's the lights flashing right now. There's some kind of short. I'm probably going to get a new starter, and I'll keep this one for a spare. Actually, it looks like it's not that old. Hard to tell, but we'll see. New starter will make it turn over good and fast for those winter starts. She's dirty. I'll double check those oil pan bolts. They often back off. These are extremely simple vehicles to work on. Other than that, it looks good. The floor is great. That's pretty good for 1997. There's no rust in the floors at all. Under here, she's all solid. A little bit of surface rust. We'll rock guard that and clean it up. Well, there you go. The new wood truck. I'm gonna have to come up with a name for it. Humpty Dumpty or something like that, because it needs a lot of work right now. She's broken. And then if I start getting attached to it, it runs really good and I like it, I'll probably put some 4th gen mirrors on there. With the little light, the little clearance light and stuff. These mirrors are pretty darn good. They're just normal mirrors. The ones the V10 had, oh man, I hated them. They were split, but the way they split them was just brutal. And it was always confusing when you're backing up. You never knew what the hell you were looking at. It's got a headache rack on it. Yeah. He gave me a nice big strap to pull wood out of the trees out of the bush. And this is the rust on the back. Typical Dodge. We'll see. I might be able to cut that out and weld some new metal in, and it can get some flares. It's pretty scratched up, but whatever. She's a wood truck. It'll be just perfect. Okay, so here's the inside. This seat is trashed. See, I'm gonna look for some leather seats for this thing. If I can get some leather seats, that'd be nice. It's got a trailer brake control. It's got the rubber floors in it. No carpet, which is nice. And yeah, she's pretty dirty, so it'll get a good cleaning. Oh, it needs door pins too. We'll see how much the grand total is. So far, parts are pretty cheap. I was pricing stuff out on Rock Auto, and or not Rock Auto, Amazon, and actually I was able to get it locally a little bit cheaper, actually quite a bit cheaper with the U-joints than I could even on Amazon. So the next one you'll see her in action. The next Dodge video. Maybe we'll do a big burnout or something. Okay, over and out. Over and out. Well, the next morning here, we tied into her. Pretty easy to work on. Pretty ugly and dirty. This is why I like to pressure wash them, because of this reason. I tried to get in there with the wand, but I only got so much. Anyway, I think we found the problem here. Could have something to do with it, eh? Stick my finger right through the hose here. Now, I think I might have one of these, because they're the same as far as I know, I think they're the same as the old 340s, 340 Dodges. I used to have an old 340. First engine I ever built was a 340, my old Dart. So, if I have one, if not, Napa has one, they're 12 bucks. The only crappy thing is I don't have the gasket kit for this yet, so I'd have to throw it back together, take it apart again. But it's not so bad once, like, now that I've done it. It's fresh in my mind, and all the bolts will be, you know, they won't be seized or anything. So I'm probably gonna just throw a water pump on it at this point. I don't want to take the chance, and maybe even a timing chain. We'll see how that timing chain looks when I get it apart. Oh wait, I don't think I can see it. I gotta pull off that cover. It felt good when I went down on the harmonic balancer. I didn't feel any play in it there. But I was thinking yesterday maybe it had jumped, but I don't think that now. I think it had to do with this electrical connection over here with the coils, and everything was soaking wet. We'll see. The new plenum kit comes with intake gaskets, the main gasket underneath here that leaks, plus a new thermostat. So really, other than little sensors and everything would be brand new in here, and I wouldn't have to touch this for a long time. Keep the maintenance up on it, and it should last. This engine should last definitely up to 500,000 kilometers. This is what you want to use to get this hose cracked free. There you go. Don't jam a screwdriver in there and mess it all up. Just use these things and twist. Same thing with these hoses, any kind of hose actually. Just make a twist and they come off nice. A lot of people try to pull on the hose or stick a screwdriver. That's just the hard way to do it. That's the easy way. Look at the hole in that thing. Just feels real soft. Super soft rubber. It's deteriorated. Yeah, well, better that it happened where it happened and not later on. A blessing in disguise, they call that. It's got a little bit of a jog in it. I might have a hose to go on there. That's not the actual hose. We'll see. I might have I got that blue hose. So yeah.
And I'll cap these off, and I'll clean this all up around here. And then when I do go to pressure wash it, it'll come off easier. Okay, well that's it. That's the easy way, is just take that whole bracket right off. It's about, I don't know, 6 bolts or something like that. Take the AC air conditioner, just pull it out of the way. You just unplug the wires, pull the whole AC compressor out, put it off to the side, pull your rad hose off right here. Again, put it off to the side. The less things you have to touch or take off, the better, but you also want them out of your way. And crack all the bolts in, out, in, out. Don't just go all the way out, or you're going to break your bolts off. So you got to be careful with that, because sometimes they're seized in there pretty good. So crack them. Sometimes you got to tighten them just at the very beginning, just to crack the bolt, and then you can loosen it, and then tighten and loosen, and they should come out. Okay, yeah, I just pull everything off to the side, and pretty easy fix really, and then you can just put your coolant back in. In my case, I got to still take this off, so it's just going to stay at this stage until I get my gasket kit in, and I'll start pulling off the intake. The tools for the job you're going to need 13 mil, 14 mil, both wrenches and ratchets. And you can use this to speed up the process, but only do it after you've cracked your bolts. Don't do it from the beginning, because you might snap your bolts off and then you're into a great big job for nothing. Just do them by hand until they're good and loose. Then you can zip them out carefully with one of these. You got to take the dipstick tube off the side of the this bracket here that holds the alternator. That's about it. Drain the coolant. You might get and then there's a little hose. There's this hose that comes out of here. This pipe, I should say. You need to take it off to get at this bolt. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so I don't know, it looked like it just had silicone. I don't know if that's all it's supposed to have, or if it's supposed to have an like usually they have an O-ring. Might even have an O-ring on it. It's right here. You can see that. Right there. It's the hose end of it. So yeah, that's it. Not much to it. And if you got a massive leak, there's a good chance that's where she's coming from. Great time to change your thermostat, and like I say, keep your engine spotless. Get in there with the pressure washer. Don't stick it in the alternator. Just sometimes you can even wrap a bag around the alternator if you're worried about it. And keep this stuff spotless, because when you go to wash it, the only reason it's like this for me is because my pressure washer's down, and I tried pressure washing it yesterday. I thought I got most of it. Well, you can see you just can't get the wand in there lots of the time. So I'll clean this up really good. I'll cap these, and then no crap. You don't want any crap getting into your water pump or anything like that. There's already a little bit of stuff in there, so it's gonna get a new water pump though, I'm thinking. Okay.